Okay, shall we start? सर वो remote देना सर 3 times Zoom. Okay. Okay. Everyone, let's start with a new topic. The new topic name, the chapter, the very important chapter and the most amended one, that is called peer review. Now, first of all, before starting off this chapter, let me show you what are the things which have been added newly in this particular topic. Okay. Now, actually the whole chapter itself has been revamped and new provisions have come, including its definition as well. Right. So I will make you understand everything. Wherever the amendment is there, I'll make you write. वैसे तो we are writing whole chapter, but wherever the new things have been added, try to write it with the part called what? Amendment on the spot only. So that at least you will understand ki why there was a requirement of bringing the amendments in this particular topic called peer review. See, we have to wait up to 30th April as well. If any new further amendments will come in the peer review statement, that will be covered at the later stage. Right on, anyways, in the May, by the time we'll come to know if any new amendments have come. So far, up to 30th October 2022, whatever the amendments have come, as per May 23 examination, whatever is included in their RTP, that I'm going to spit it out, each and everything. And approximately 90% of the chapter has been amended. Concept base is still same. New things have come because this chapter was long pending since long, and there was so many, you can say that loopholes, you can't say that, but unnecessary extra things were there. They have been removed and new procedure, new peer review, everything has been added. Okay? First of all, let's understand how we are going to proceed with this particular topic. Peer review, first of all, the term peer review you have to understand in a two different way. The word peer will separate and the word review will separate. Peer review means what? Peer stands for person of same standing. What do you mean by peer stands for? And review stands for whatever the services of the auditing, assurance, accounting, attestation, practicing services you have given. They are going to come to your office and they are going to check the quality for the same. Little bit you will find the hint of NFRA kind of thing. What the NFRA was basically watching on you? Quality of your assurance. But that is overall NFRA. This is particular about assurance of quality services. It is particular about what? Assurance of quality services. Are you getting the point? And there will be another chapter called quality review. In the beginning only I am going to tell you the difference ki how peer review is different from quality review and how they are different from NFRA as well. Quality review mein they will only and only be concentrating on reviewing your statutory audit services. Which services? No internal, no concurrent, no GST, no tax audit, nothing they are going to concentrate in quality review. In the which review? Only and only one area. What is their focus? Only on statutory. And quality review is conducted by central government. Which government? On the basis of what kind of companies you have done the audit for. Say for example, you were the auditor of a company which later on came in the news with having adverse remarks. Say for example, company mein scam ho gaya. Company has gone through a scam or a scandal. And unfortunately, your firm was the auditor of that company. So you will be selected under quality review. You will be selected under quality review. And your practicing unit will be told as AFUR, audit firm under review. In the peer review, your practicing unit is known as PU, practicing unit. There the person who does the review on your services is known as technical reviewer. What is the name of the person? Here it is called peer reviewer. What do we call it as? Peer reviewer. So peer reviewer kaun karta hai, sir? Peer review is done by ICA. Now, understand, ICA में there are so many boards, जैसे ESB board है, ethical standard board. Like that we have the disciplinary boards, which keeps on taking care of your professional and other misconducts. Like we have board of discipline, disciplinary committees, we have directorate discipline, appellate authority. So likewise in 2002, ICA made one board. What is a board? Because at the end of the day, you have to understand one fact very carefully. कि a CA after getting qualified is no longer a free bird. There are n number of authorities who are always watching your work, especially your quality assurance services. And to name them three, though we already know, which I gave you the introduction. NFRA, okay, NCLT also interface. You have quality review board, you have a peer review board. Out of that, peer review board is made by whom? I say in the year 2002. Now what do they do? There are three methods of getting the peer review. Either the ICA will select you under the mandatory peer review method. What is the first method? Peer. Why it is mandatory, on what basis it is mandatory, that is what we have everything to understand. If you are a level 1, level 2, or if you are a, having these many clients, if you are doing the audit of listed entities, so you fall under one category called mandatory peer review. Method number 1. Method number 2, voluntary peer review. What is the method number 2? Where you apply to the ICA, ki do the review on me. Now the biggest question mark arises, why a practicing unit would like to reply to whom? ICA. That is where our major problem occurs. We think that peer review is a fault finding activity. No. Peer review is a demonstration of your professional services. It's a demonstration of people do get reviewed because they would like to hang that certificate on their firm. If you get a positive peer review certificate, that implies that you are a good practicing unit and anyone outsider can come and blindly take your services. Is that good enough for you? Yes. So we do not should think that peer review is all about, having the fault finding. Basically, it's an improvisation mechanism. Which one? Improvise. They will give you enough time to improvise. Like NFRA also, I told you in 132, they first monitor you. If they will find serious irregularities, they will give you the time. In case you are still able to not improvise during that time, then they throw their case to whom? QRB, not PRB. To the which board? QRB. PRB is ICAI board and QRB is a central government board. So QRB and PRB, this is the major difference you should know. So never be under the impression that quality review is same as what? Quality review ka focus I told you, very limited focus. Statutory audits, that's it. Which audits? And here your focus is PET. Professional, ethical, technical standards. What is a PET? And like that, this is a kind of huge chapter with so many amendments. So imagine that for you it is new only. You are going to read it for the first time. So you will have a better understanding. You need not concentrate on the previous one. But I will, wherever the need arises, I'll tell you what used to happen. Right? Reason being very simple. Like when the CARO 2016 was replaced by what? CARO 2020. That time for the first 2 to 3 attempts, ICA asked the question in comparison between the two. What are the major differences? Because जैसे you are shifting from AS to IND-AS, then also ICA starts in FR. ICA sometimes asks you the difference also. Ki what is the accounting treatment under this and why it is differentiated. Same way, peer review has been so much changed that they may ask you the difference between old peer review statement and new peer review statement. Did you get the point? So you got a little bit of idea. Ki what is the idea? ICA created one board. What is the name of the board? Peer review board. In the peer review board, as a practicing chartered accountant, you people only will apply कि I want to become a peer reviewer. I want to become what? So ICA will give you the adequate training like our articleship under the peer review board. So you will understand how to do the peer review and you will be selected to do the peer review of another practicing unit. It means a practicing CA doing the review of another practicing CA. That is why the word peer is used. What is a peer now? A person of which standing? Same status, same position and same nomenclature. Means similar standing. So मेरे office में ICA people will not come. Another practicing CA will come. And remember, there is no surprise element in that. They will pre-intimate you that this is a date we are going to come. This is a time period we are going to give you. These are the documents we are looking for. Get it ready. Like we intimate to our client. So it's a very simple. It is called audit of auditors. What is another name? Whom we do audit for? Client. They do ours. Is it clear? We do the audit of client. They do ours. What do we check at client's place? Books of accounts, financial statement, express the opinion. What do they check in my place? Documentation. What do they check? They are not checking my work. They are not checking my papers. They are checking client's papers only, my client's papers only. But to check that, did I do the audit as per the compliance of my standards and quality has been provided or not? Basically, an audit of my QCPP, quality control, policies and procedure. Which clients I have served, how much fees I have charged, is it within the scale or not, whether I'm maintaining registers or not, am I following standards on auditing or not, am I following this and that, everything they will check on the basis of your documentation in which your client's documents are there. So you collected it. Why did? अब मैं तुम्हें बताता हूँ. What is the reason SQC1 says that you need to preserve it for 7 years? For this, they come and check it. अब let's imagine you do not preserve it for 7 years. When they will come, what you will show? Baba ka tullu. So you have to have a documentation to fill up the gap between you and whom? ICAI. So ICAI comes, checks your documentation. On the basis of that, they make an opinion. Are you a good practicing unit or you are not a good practicing unit? If you are a good practicing unit, you will get unmodified peer review certificate. If you are a like little bit offbeat, you are going away from the PET standards, they will give you the modified peer review certificate. And again, follow on review will take place on you, which will take place, and they will see the difference between first review and second review. Again, if the quality of the services is improvised, they may take action of banning you from practice as well. So now I think you might have understood the fact why there is a symbol of eagle in the ICAI logo. They always keep a which eye on you? Eagle eye. And there comes professional ethics. There are so many departments, I will tell you. There comes quality review. I'll tell you quality review board. NFRA we have done. And over a period of time, you will understand who or else are watching on you. Am I correct? So you are not a free bird. You are free, but stuck to ICAI's regulations. Am I correct? So that is what do you mean by the introduction. Did you get the point? What this chapter is all about? Going to be very interesting chapter, but with the amendments, the things have come new. So that I have to bring it to your notice now. So peer review ka normal meaning, not definition I told you. I told you only the meaning. So what is a peer means? A person of same status, same position and same nomenclature will come. And what do you mean by review means? Read it. Review stands for retrospective evaluation of your services provided by the. What do you mean by retrospection of services? And why it is the word written re-examination? You already examined your client. They are going to re-examine. How did you examine your client? So it is a and retrospective means last 3 years is their scope. How many years? That is the reason SQC1 says that at least you maintain it for 7 years. Because anytime they can come and they can ask for our last what? 3 years. So beyond 3 years they can, and yes, current year documentation they will not review. Current year audits may they will leave you. They will only do what is being completed, not what you are doing. 100% clarity. This is what ICAI. ICAI has a peer review board. You get connected with the peer review board, become a peer reviewer. You will be given a training. You will be allotted the practicing unit, which ICAI selects on 3 bases. Method number 1, mandatory peer review, in which you will be selected if you have done the audits of this organization. Second thing is voluntary peer review, where you apply. And third is some regulator referred to whom I say conduct the peer review on this practicing. उसे बोलते हैं special peer review. What do we call it as? Special. So there are 3 types of peer review: mandatory, voluntary, special peer review. Good to go now. Now, statement of peer review got amended in the July 2021 with some minor changes. So this is again re-revised in the October 2022 with major changes. So first minor changes came, then major. And let me tell you one thing, within this 1.5 year only, ICAI realized what the changes they brought in 2021 are not good enough changes in the peer review. That's again they brought the changes and made the whole chapter thing. So now we are going to understand first the definition of the word called what? Peer review. I'll share this document also with you, where you will get all the documents relating to May 2022. Okay? 23 ke examination ka. Now here is challenge is You have to learn each and every word in the definition as it is. Because we are not learning the meaning now. We are learning the definition. Definition has to be as per the word to word thing. Now, I'll make you understand, sir. That is my responsibility. How I pour it inside your head. Now see, read the point number 1. What does the peer review mean? Read it, read it. What is peer review? Peer review stands for examination and review. So people will come to your organization and they will examine and review your systems and procedure. Point number 1 difficult? No. They will come and they will do what? Examine and they will review your what? Systems and your procedures. You know, why they are coming? To determine whether the same, what do you mean by same? Your systems and procedures have been put in place by the which unit? So the firm which is selected under the peer review is known as PU, practicing unit. You have to use this word in the examination. And that person is known as PR. And we report it to PRB under ICA, peer review board. Correct? So please tell me what are the 2 points? It is an examination and review of your systems and procedures to determine whether they are in place or not. Whether such systems and procedures are put in place or not. Now, why they coming to ensure that that is being put in place or not by you? For ensuring to get a guarantee. To get a what? Guarantee that ki you are maintaining what? Quality on your which services? As envisaged by, as maintained by these people. मतलब they will compare your quality of assurance service with these criterias. जैसे हम लोग क्या अपना बेंचमार्किंग करते हैं ना, बेंचमार्किंग कि वी कंपेयर आवर रिजल्ट्स विद अ benchmarked results and we'll come to know that variations ki how poor I am or how good I am beyond that. So they will also compare your quality of which services? Assurance service. Envisaged by whom? Envisaged by whom? TPE. But I will make you to remember PET. Pet. Your pets. What are your pets? Professional, ethical, technical standards. What are your pets, everyone? So they will check your quality of the assurance services. Are you following professional, ethical and technical standards issued by whom? I say. And this is the new amendment which you have to understand. Amendment is including quality maturity model. ये वाली definition में word add हुआ है. Audit quality maturity model. Sir, what is this? Now they are saying that since how long we will keep on coming on your practicing unit and see you whether you're good or not. So do one thing. ICA has issued one AQMM. What is AQMM? Audit Quality Maturity Model. Download this from ICA website. Do the self-evaluation. Before we come to you, you should do first what? Self-evaluation. Matlab compare your quality with what? AQMM qualities which are envisaged by whom? ICA. So it's not that peer review will be abolished. Peer review will happen. But so it's like same morning I told you. Would you like to get to know about your weaknesses by me or on your own? Our reps are important. But companies reps are what? More important. Same thing I say saying कि we are to definitely going to send our which reviewer? Peer reviewer. You do one thing. You download AQMM. Audit Quality Maturity Model. You do the self-evaluation first, ki where you are standing. Okay? This is the new amendment came. Point number 1. Included what? AQMM wherever what? Applicable. Or any other regulatory requirements as may be prescribed by whom? Council or any kind of committee, or whether same were consistently applied during the period under the review. So this is called the definition. Easy hai, difficult nahi hai. Word to word. It refers to examination of your what? Systems and examination and review of your systems and procedure to determine whether such systems and procedure have been put in place by the practicing unit to get an assurance on the quality of your services envisaged by PET standards, professional, ethical, technical standards. Is it clear, everyone? And including AQMM, which is required by your own self-evaluation or any other regulatory requirement. and to ensure that ki whatever we have told you, are you following consistently for a period under the review or not. So it's not that ki I will come, I will check and you have done it, once I will leave, you will stop using it. You consistently had to keep on following the PET standards over your practicing unit, be it 10 years, 20 years, 30, 35, 40, 50 years, whatever you are practicing. Clear? So this is what the new definition of the word called what? Peer review. And what is being added? Included AQMM. What is AQMM? Amendment number 1 समझ में आ गया? This is the amendment number 1. Now, amendment number 2. Now they are saying that कि earlier they used to select the peer reviews on those practicing units which used to be little bit older, like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Now, no older, no younger. You can get peer reviewed in your year 1 as well of your practice. The moment you get qualified, there's no guarantee that in the next 12 months you won't get peer reviewed. So you will be considered as a peer review of new unit. What do we call it as? Now question is, sir, what do you mean by new unit? See the definition, very simple definition. New unit means a practicing firm whose date of establishment is what? Less than 12 months immediately preceding the date of receipt of application of what? The moment peer review board has sent you the application ki your firm has been selected under the which review, and your establishment of the firm is within the last what? 12 months. So you will be considered as a which unit? New unit. Am I correct? And not only new unit will be called a new unit, which may or may not have rendered any assurance service. मतलब या तो आपने दिया है या नहीं दिया assurance, that doesn't matter. You got the letter, you have to check the letter date and your date of establishment. If it is less than equals to what? 12 months. So you are going to be considered as which unit? New unit. Not only that, second thing also they have added, or you are a practicing unit which is in existence for what? Period exceeding 12 months, but has not yet rendered any kind of what? Assurance. So then also you will be considered as a which unit? New unit. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So peer review ka definition went inside your head. New unit ka definition batao abhi. What makes you a new unit? A practicing unit which got a receipt of information of peer review from the peer review board and your date of establishment is less than equals to 12 months preceding to that date of peer review. Or those practicing units which are in existence for more than 12 months but has not provided any assurance services yet. It means you will be called as what? अच्छा यहाँ पे ना वर्ड बहुत ज्यादा यूज हो रहा है. द वर्ड यूज इज एश्योरेंस. एश्योरेंस पहले तो ये बताओ व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन एश्योरेंस ऑडिटिंग. हाँ 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 लिसनिंग. हाँ अच्छा अच्छा बताओ भाई. वो आपके ऑडिट चेक करते हैं? नहीं. हम लोग क्या देते हैं? डू वी गिव गारंटी और ओपिनियन? एब्सोल्यूट वन और रीजनेबल वन. क्या बोलते हैं उसे? रीजनेबल एश्योरेंस. एंड हाउ डू यू गिव इट? बाय फॉलोइंग योर पेट स्टैंडर्ड्स. एम आई करेक्ट और नॉट? नाउ आई टोल्ड यू ऑन द डे वन देयर आर SQCs, you all know, and then I told you there are SAEs. What is SAEs? So you follow standards on auditing while doing the audit, but after getting qualified, these SQCs, SAEs, SREs, SRS, SSAs, SIAs, these are your responsibility. They are actually total 79 in number. How many? हमने तो कर लिए थे, हमारे टाइम पे थे. In our portion, there used to be SAEs, SREs, and SRS and SQCs included as a part of our portion. SSAs I told you recently added, so I also have to go through. But in your portion, unfortunately, only SAs are there. So they are not only checking your compliance. What is the meaning of PET? Full form batana? It includes everything. It includes knowledge of accounting standard also, knowledge of Ind AS also, knowledge of notifications, circulars, amendments, revisions given by the council, regulatory frameworks, RBI norms, SEBI norms, everything. You should be a box of information. Who? Practicing unit. So they can check anything. Because all that put together helps you in expressing what? Assurance. Which assurance? Reasonable. Isliye they have stopped using the word called audit. Because if they will start using the word called audit, peer review will get misplaced with quality review. क्योंकि quality review में what is the major concentration? Statutory audit. That's why assurance word you have to keep on using in your answer. Am I correct or not? So tell me, what is the definition of new unit now? A practicing unit which got the intimation by the peer review, and from the date of intimation in the preceding 12 months, your date of establishment is within those 12 months, and whether or not you provided any. अच्छा, इसमें point use किया whether or not you provided any assurance. Last 12 months वाले में we will not check whether you provided or not. Last 12 months means new unit. But if it is a practicing unit exceeding what? 12 months, and if you have not provided any assurance service, then you will be qualified as a word-to-word understanding each and everything. Okay, let's move to the next one. What is the next topic? This is also amendment. So this is amendment number 2. This is amendment number 3. Branch peer reviewer. अब क्या होता है nowadays? You know that कि chartered accountants are also believing in expansion. Am I correct? So say for example, our own branch is there in Guntur, and our another branch is there in Hyderabad or Bangalore or something. So you can also send a branch peer reviewer. There is no definition. Every duty, responsibility and rights of the peer reviewer are equally applicable to the branch peer reviewer. It's just that you are not the main unit peer reviewer. You are a peer reviewer of a branch of the same practicing unit which has been selected under the peer review. So you will be called as a what? Branch peer review. Now see, he means a reviewer appointed to conduct a peer review of a branch of a what? Practicing unit. Qualifications and other obligations and duties of a whom? Branch peer reviewer shall be same as that of whom? Reviewer. So total 3 things I told you. What are the 3 things? Tell me again. Definition of peer review, definition of new unit, and the meaning of the word called branch. Tell me the definition. It refers to examination and review of your systems and procedures to determine whether such systems and procedures are being put in place by the practicing unit so as to get an assurance on your quality of services envisaged by PET standards including AQMM, audit quality maturity model for the self-evaluation or ordered by any regulatory authority, and you did the compliance during the period under the review. Did you get the point? Any doubt or no doubt? Pakka? Right? And the second one, what makes you a new unit? From the date of peer review starting preceding last 12 months, may you got established but not provided any. Whether provided or not doesn't matter in this case. Practicing unit exceeding 12 months may, if you have not provided, you will be called as a new unit. And what makes you a branch reviewer? Means a person who is going to do the peer review of a branch of a practicing unit. Rest remaining everything is same as equally applicable to the peer reviewer is equally applicable to the branch reviewer. 100% clarity. No doubt at all. Okay. Now, objectives of peer review are what? बहुत simple सी बात है. What are the objectives of peer review? Objective of peer review you already know. What they are checking? Compliance with PET. What they are checking here? So what is the objective? The main objective is to ensure that in carrying out the assurance services, the members comply with what? TPE. We will call it as a PET standards, including other regulatory requirement, and have in place what? Proper systems including documentation to amplify your demonstrate of quality of what? Assurance services. क्योंकि documentation 230 actually क्या है? 230 is basically the biggest evidence you have कि yes you are a good practicing unit. आप देखो ना, if you clearly see from essay 200 series to essay 700 series, you don't realize the fact that but the maximum amount of importance is always given to 230. चलो मैं थोड़े से क्वेश्चंस पूछता हूँ 230 के to listen whether you know or not. What is the assembling time of doing your documentation once the audit is over? 60 days. But that is not written in 230. That is written in SQC1. And what is your preservation time? Again, that is not written in 230. Where it is? You maintain how many types of file? 2 file. Permanent audit working paper files temporary audit working paper files which are to be preserved in your office for the last what? 7 years. Crystal clear? Who is the owner of those paper? Owner. Auditor. You are the absolute owner. Can you say no to anybody? Yes. It's your discretionary power to say the no. Can you say no to your client from whom you have collected? But client is saying my paper, my labor, my ink, my Xerox machine. It doesn't matter. So auditor will say hard work was mine. Therefore, I am the which holder? Property holder. So you turn around. Oh. Who will say? Auditor. So it means it is my wish to make the people review my what? Audit working papers. Am I correct? Now, second, who has to maintain the safe custody? Auditor. Where do you keep your documentations? On the tables or on the cupboards? That is the biggest, treasure you have in your office. Go to any CA's office, more than articles you will find cupboards. And you open them, instead of cash, flood of documents will come, under which you may die as well sometime. That when you, and there will be one special almirah in the room of a principal. What is that special almirah? Confidential, sensitive information relating to the clients whom you have done the audit. So always remember, you will find one hidden almirah or a locked one always, where you are not allowed to have an access. That only your principal can access. क्योंकि मेरे office में भी एक. Right? Next point. Okay. So who has to maintain confidentiality? These audit working paper documentation includes what? Your papers or client's paper? Your sensitive information, clients. You have to always maintain what? Confidence. Okay. Can I say to a tax auditor? No to a tax auditor. Suppose I am the statutory auditor. She is the tax auditor of the same company. I did my statutory audit. I got my audit working papers, made a file, sat in my office. One day, suddenly she called. She said that, Rohit sir, I'm a tax auditor of the same client for which you did what? Statutory. I would like to visit your office and review some audit working papers. I said, shut down. Khatam. No. Can I say to the another professional? Yes or no? Sure. And what if the income tax department called? Now can you say no? You have to look after what they are asking for. You are protected under section number 126 of Evidence Act. But in case you think that it is environmental related thing or public health and safety is on compromise, then in that case you can break your what? Confidentially. Ab samajh mein aa raha? This is what they are going to come and check. So what are the two things, what are the two major objectives of peer reviewer coming to your practicing unit? To check your compliance with PET standards, including regulatory requirements, and to see that your documentations are properly placed or not, to which amplifies, what is the word used? Amplifies and demonstrates your what? Quality of share. Next one, the primary, acha ye word main point. The primary objective is not to find out what? Deficiency, but to improve the quality of services rendered by the members. This is the main objective of conducting the peer review. I hope you understood now. And let me tell you one thing, मेरी firm के ऊपर 16 and 19 में हो चुका है peer review, 2016 and 2019. It's not that difficult. It's just that two friends are talking to each other, like kind of they're coming, they're doing it. And yes, when they do the peer review, they will be quite serious while doing it. But yes, most of the times they also know that what are the areas where we can't follow sometimes the PET standards. So little bit of you are going away, departing from the standards, they will manage. But if you're completely going away, then in that case, you may end up getting a which report? Modified. So it all, let's say we do not go in a surprise way to the client. They also come and do the mutual consent with us. Sir, when you are free, when your audit workload is less, during that time only will come, because they have to ensure it to complete it within 6 working days. How many? On-site visit. Which visit? On-site. But I will tell you all these rules at the later stage. But did you understand review ka matlab? Peer review ka abhi tak concept clear hai? So what are the major two objectives? Compliance with PET standards, including other regulatory requirements. Second, checking your documentation is in place or not, because that amplifies your demonstration of quality of what. अब ये heavy word exam में लिखने पड़ेंगे. You have to write these words like these sentences in your exam. Amplify, envisaged. Because that is what I say looks from you. Am I correct? And that too when we are doing the definitions. What is the primary objective? To fault finding. or suggesting improvements. Okay, now the main topic will start. Ki, sir, what is the scope of peer review? The Lakshman Rekha of the peer reviewer, what he can't cross and what he can ask. Both things we'll understand, what is included and what is excluded. So what is just included? First of all, I will tell you in a best way to put it inside your head. Point number one, compliance, compliance, compliance. 3 points are relating to what? No matter, we can later on write it in our own way. As a total like a car, it is not clauses. These are points only. So tell me, what are the 3 points? Compliance, compliance, compliance. First point you already know. Compliance of which standard? PET. Now listen. Compliance on guidelines issued by whom? Council to members. And third one, compliance on guidelines issued by council to the members relating to its, matlab 3 compliances: PET, which I have to follow, guidelines which I have to follow, third also guidelines which I have to follow but connected to my articles. Now question arises, PET ka definition I'll tell you at the later stage because it's a huge definition. Let's do the second compliance. What is the second compliance? Guidelines issued by council to the whom? Member. Sir, relating to what? My fees to be charged, my number of what? Audits undertaking, and register of what? And you already know section number 142 where I told you you also have to maintain a register in your office where you will write how much fees is pending as an auditor, as an advisor. That is what this register I was talking about. Register of what? Assurance. कहाँ से आपको as an auditor आना है, कहाँ से आपको as an advisor. How much from the same entity, sometimes as an auditor, sometimes. So what are the 3 guidelines given to you? Fees related, audits to be undertaken, and assurance register ka guide, assurance register ka maintenance. These are on whom? On you. PET is on whom? On you. Then other third guidelines are also on you, but you need to maintain it relating to your article. अब बताओ article assistants के बारे में क्या ICA wants to know? ICA wants to know that are you maintaining the proper records of your what? Audit assistant, including their which register, including their which diaries, and what? Stipend payments. Simple. Easy था, बहुत easy है, बहुत easy है. तो what are the 3 compliances? Easy बनाने वाला चाहिए. You need someone to make it easy. Otherwise, तो it is a blatant theory only. So 3 types of compliance. Compliance on me relating to my pets. Compliance of guidelines issued to me by the council relating to my fees, relating to my audits to be undertaken, relating to my assurance engagement register maintenance. And guidelines issued to me connected to my article assistant, connected to my audit assistant, connected to the stipend payments, connected to the work diaries, connected to the attendance register. Simple. Compliance, compliance, compliance. My question is, ki sir, you expect your audit team to be as efficient as you. पहले तो ये बताओ audit team में होता कौन कौन है? Who is the part of your audit team? Engagement partner, plus paid assistants, plus some junior, some senior article assistant, plus audit manager, and the last one is other employees and staff, whatever you have. This is called your team. My question is, should you only know the importance of IOIA? Integrity, objectivity, independence, confidentiality, only you should know, or your whole team? तो उनको training कौन देगा? Practicing unit will give the training to your staff. The 4th point is they will check, are you giving adequate training programs for your what? Staff, including article and audit assistant, concerned with what? Assurance functions, including availability of appropriate. Who will maintain the computer, internet, good infrastructure in your office? You will maintain. अब समझ में आया how to connect one topic with another? तो compliance, compliance, compliance. What was our third compliance? Articles. Relating to that 4th point, training. Am I correct or not? Okay. What are the next 2? Systems and procedures for carrying out what? Which we did it in our definition. And what is the most important thing? AQMM. For your which evaluation? Self-evaluation. That's what I was telling you. Before me telling you where you are weaker, it's better that you should know your weaknesses first. Do the self-evaluation with conduct to AQMM or any other guideline issued by what? Center for the audit quality. हो गया 6 peer reviews का scope. अब बताओ. Compliance of PET, compliance of guidelines for the members, compliance of guidelines to the members relating to article, giving them training, systems and procedures, and self-evaluation under AQMM. What was my guidelines relating to fee, audits to be undertaken, maintenance register of assurance? What was my guidelines relating to my audit and article assistant? Work diaries, stipend payment, attendance register. What should I train them for? Assurance services, quality services. I have to give them the self-train. What do I self-evaluate with the help of? AQMM. What should be placed in my form? Systems and... हो गया खत्म. This is what you mean by... It means that is what peer reviewer will come and check. This is called scope of the peer review. Now, what he will come and not check. पहले मैं तुम्हें वो करवा देता हूँ. Assurance engagements which are not under your scope. Because we have done now what is included in your scope. Now we are going to do what is not included in your scope. So how many included? 6. How many not included? 9. Anything other than 6 will get covered under 9. But still you have to listen to the list carefully. And I'll tell you the reason also why it is not required. Read the point number 1, please. What they can come and what they can't ask you. Your management consultancy engagements. क्योंकि management consultancy engagements में there are no standards issued by ICI. This is called MCOS services. Management consultancy and other services. Let me ask you one thing. Can your client, suppose you are not a statutory auditor of a company, that company hired you for the job evaluation and job analysis and recruitment policy for their employees. Can you do that? Have you heard a chartered accountant doing all this? Our answer is yes. There are 67 list of services which you can give under MCOS. But MCOS services are not under the scope of whom? Peer review. He cannot ask you. You know, you can be a consultant for advertisement media in case of prospectus also. A heavy word lag raha hai na? Say for example, company has to issue the prospectus. Am I correct? For issuing the prospectus, do they need the channels where they will display their prospectus? But they are unaware. So as a chartered accountant, they hired you to be a consultant to let them know what should be the advertisement media. Which media? Those kind of services comes under MCOS. Management consultancy engagement. But sir, ये word तो हमने सुना हुआ है section number 144 में. It is what? Prohibited. But when it is prohibited? When you're working in the same company as a what? Statute. Generally, they're not prohibited. I told you and clarified you at that point of time also. Did you understand the point? So what is first thing not included? Management, consultancy, engagement. Peer reviewer can't ask you about these records. Second thing, representation where? Representation before the which authorities? Various authority. What does that mean? IT representation, GST representation, custom representation. So representation related matters are also not under the scope of which review? Peer review. What is the next one? Engagement to help the companies in preparing what? Tax returns or advising the clients in which matters? Tax. So your advisory services relating to tax and tax preparer is not covered under the peer review. Tell me the 3 which are not covered. Not covered. Representation services not covered. Tax return preparer not covered. Advisory in the taxation matters not covered. And they have not mentioned the word direct or indirect. It means both are included. Sleeping Beauty. Oh hello. Oh hello. Okay, next one. Engagements for the compilation of what? अच्छा ध्यान से सुनो. अच्छा सुनो ध्यान से सुनो. अच्छा मैं बताना मेरे को 6 स्कोप क्या थे? What are the 6 things which are added in your peer review? बस तो था ही नहीं. अच्छा she is saying no sir, not point A, B, S, D, सस्ते नशे। हाँ? 2-3 रोटी ज्यादा हो गई होंगी आफ्टरनून में। अरे इट्स ओके अम्मा, इट्स ओके, नो प्रॉब्लम। अच्छा, टेल मी द 4 थिंग्स विच आर, अच्छा यू डोंट नो द 4 थिंग फर्स्ट, टेल मी द फर्स्ट 3 थिंग्स। मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टेंसी एंगेजमेंट, रिप्रेजेंटेशन बिफोर वेरियस अथॉरिटीज, टैक्स रिटर्न प्रिपरेशन एंड tax related advisory. Read the fourth one and tell me what do you know about this kind of service and if you have heard it somewhere. Engagements for the compilation of what? Kya? Not preparing the financial statement. You can't do. First of all, the practicing units can't be engaged for preparation. Preparation of financial statement is different. Compilation of financial statement is different. Helping the company in consolidating the financial statements. But ensure that in that company you are not working as a which auditor? Statutory auditor. Again, kind of management consultancy services. Am I correct? And next point is connected with that only. Engagement solely to assist the client in what? Preparing, compiling, and collating information other than what? Financial. It means preparation of financial statement, so you are not at all allowed. Because what is the point written here in the 5th point? Read. The word written is preparing, compiling, and collating information. But for the engagements other than what? Financial statements. Is it clear? So tell me 5 very easy. Point number 1, management consultancy engagements. Point number 2, income tax return preparation and advisory functions in taxation. Third, representation services. Fourth, helping in compilation of financial statement. Fifth, preparing, collating, compiling in the information other than what? Financial statement. They are under the review. Can he ask or he can't ask? Can't ask. What is the next thing he can't ask? ये पता कहां पे आता है? ये आता है अपने को फोरेंसिक ऑडिट में. What do we call it as? अच्छा मेरे को ये बताओ, हाउ फोरेंसिक ऑडिट इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम फाइनेंशियल ऑडिट? हम लोग क्या करते हैं फाइनेंशियल ऑडिट में? वी ऑब्टेन सफिशिएंट एंड एप्रोप्रिएट ऑडिट एविडेंस ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ व्हिच वी ड्रॉ द कंक्लूजंस. करेक्ट? फोरेंसिक ऑडिट में यू डोंट डू दैट. फोरेंसिक ऑडिट में you already know that scam has happened. You have been hired to identify the root of scam. Who was the fraudster? What was the scheme of scam? And who was involved? What was the origin and how it ended? So you collect the evidences, not persuasive one, conclusive evidences. Which evidences? And the end product of every forensic audit is you will end up going to the court, becoming a witness and testifying there कि yes, I did the forensic audit and this person has done the fraud. उसे बोलते हैं testifying as an what? Expert witness. It generally comes in which audit? Forensic audit. And एक amendment बताता हूँ. Now no longer you will use the word forensic audit. You will use the word called forensic accounting. The word audit has been removed from the word क्योंकि लोग कह रहे हैं fraud audit. It looks very bad when अरे you are a fraud auditor. Forensic का मतलब क्या होता है? Collecting fraud. So they don't realize the word forensic sometimes. They, oh, she's a fraud auditor. So he's saying with happy. His intention is clear, but the word is what? Fraud auditor. मतलब that auditor is fraud. So fraud accountant and forensic accountant, all these names have been changed. So wherever the word auditing word is written, the word auditing is replaced with the word called accounting. 6 you understood? And meaning also why they are not included? And what is the 7th one? Providing which opinion? Expert opinion on points of what? Principle, such as accounting standard, applicability of what? Certain laws, and on the basis facts provided by the client. Now, client is not aware of the fact that do I have to pay mandatory bonus to my employees or not? So auditor said, sir, how many workers are working in your factory? He said 20 or more. Sir, yes, you are covered under payment of bonus act. Minimum bonus of 8.33% you have to pay. अब मेरे को ये बताओ, client didn't know who advised him? Auditor. As an expert on certain laws which he was not aware of. That again comes under the management consultancy. So again it is not a part of your peer review. Next point, engagement for which one? Anybody knows the meaning of due diligence? Just a literal meaning. I know that you don't know. For that only they hired me. But please tell me, have you heard of that? Yes, sir. So we heard it, but we don't know. That should be the answer. So tell me, what is a due diligence means? Care. Just because the word diligence is written. नहीं. Due diligence क्या होता है sir? Let me give you a very simple example. When one acquiring company acquires the target company, so acquirer would like to conduct a due diligence on target company कि whatever the purchase consideration I am giving to this company for acquisition, is it genuine or not? Is there any tax frauds? Is there whether their employees will be comfortable coming under my company? क्योंकि every company has a different culture. You know what is the difference between Reliance Industries and Tata Industries? Culture का difference है. Tata is a businessman. Reliance is an industrialist. And that is what the same problem Reliance found when it acquired Chorus. Some of you too might not be even aware of. And you call yourself as a final student. So anyways, no problem. So when the Tata acquired Chorus, what has happened at that point of time? Tata went to the Europe and he conducted a meeting. Okay, let me meet with the new employees. He conducted a meeting at 3:30 in the afternoon. Okay, let's employee done away with their work. But he was not aware of the fact that there the work culture is up to 3. All the employees left out of the office when he came there to conduct a meeting with them. What is the example you are getting out of it? When you acquire some company, you should know their human resources due diligence. Whether those employees will be comfortable in working under you or not. Whether you are able to adopt their culture or they are able to adopt. India mein culture kya hai? 8 to 8. Conducting 3:30 meeting means what? You will find your employees on the bench. But there, they work only up to 3. So that is where he realized the fact that yes, due diligence is very important from the acquirer company point of view to conduct it on what? Target company. उसे बोलते हैं हम लोग tax due diligence, operational due diligence, legal due diligence, HR due diligence, personal due diligence, and accounting due diligence, operational, like that hundreds of due diligence are there. It is very popular in the areas where you are being hired to give the services of due. It is a service actually. Due diligence is not doing something with care. That is normal diligence. This is due diligence is when you are being hired by an absorption company, when they are absorbing a which company? Target company. Whether target company ka money which I am giving is genuine or not. So that services if you are providing, they are not covered under your which review? Peer review. They will come but they can't touch these services. And what is the next one? Any other services rendered or the function performed by the practitioner not prescribed by council. To be the which engagement? Anything which is other than what? Assurance engagement is also not. It means the reviewer basically can test your which things? Assurance engagement. So tell me the 8 things which are not covered under your peer review. Point number 1. Management consultancy, representation cases, tax return preparation and advisory services in taxation. 3. Fourth one, helping the company in compilation of financial statement, helping the company in collecting, collating, completing and preparing information other than financial statement, working or testifying yourself as an expert in the court of law as an expert witness. And next one, doing the concepts of due diligence and expert opinion on applicability of various laws and regulations. And last one, anything specified by council not to be a which engagement? Assurance. So that is outside the scope of which review? Peer review. Did you understand the concept? So you had a good idea about now peer review, what they can do, what they can't do, what they do, that is peer review, and what is their main objective, what they check. Am I correct? Last एक definition करेंगे relating to, these are the definition part relating to PET standards. Which standard? PET standard. After that, I will make you write the concept of peer review. क्योंकि it has to be done in a phased manner. Like CFS was a small audit, so it was done in 2 manner. But यहाँ पे अपने को phase में करना पड़ेगा, right? So what is the definition of PET so far? You have heard so many times we are using the word called PET. PET stands for what? Professional, ethical, and technical standard. Try to understand it clearly and tell me the meaning also why ICA is interested in you knowing that. Read the point number 1, please. Accounting standards issued by whom? ICA for entities other than companies under the which act? ये कौन सी कंपनीज होती हैं? banking, insurance, electricity, they also apply the accounting standard, but not as it is, which is being applied by the normal company. So accounting standards, which are issued by whom? ICA, for the entities other than what? Companies, under the which act? So what will be the second part then? Accounting standards prescribed under section number of the Companies Act 2013 by what? CG. Do you remember 133 after NFRA? Standards are prescribed by central government based upon recommendation of ICA in consultation with NFRA. So who is the middle authority? Who gives the recommendation to whom? ICA to NFRA, NFRA to EMS. Crystal clear. No clarity required here. What is the third one then? Ind AS prepared under section 133. Again prescribed by, again based upon recommendation of, in consultation with, but you didn't realize what the lawmaker is trying to tell you in the first 3 lines. Accounting standards relating to companies are no longer the power of ICAI. ये तुम्हारी ऑब्जर्वेशन होनी चाहिए बीइंग अ फाइनल स्टूडेंट, अदरवाइज तुम्हारे और इंटरमीडिएट में कोई फर्क नहीं है फिर. टेल मी व्हाट इज ऑब्जर्वेशन यू अंडरस्टूड? ICAI no longer issues any accounting standards for the company. It only gives the recommendations. Who actually is the authority who has taken away all these powers? NFRA. Let it be AS or let it be Ind AS. ICAI is just a consultant now. And NFRA sees its consultation, do the necessary processing and give it to whom? MCA. So tell me the 3 points in the PET standard. Accounting standard issued by ICAI for the companies other than Companies Act. Accounting standard issued by central government as accounting standards on the recommendations of ICAI in consultation with NFRA, and accounting standards in the form of Ind AS issued by central government on the recommendations of ICAI in consultation with. So first 3 points are on what? This thing. And what is the next one? Standards. Which standards? All standards. The list is huge. SQCs, SAEs. Full form batate jo. What is SQC? And what is SAE? Standards on assurance engagement. What is SRE? Standards on review engagement. And what is SRS? Standards on related services. And SAs. What is SAs? And SSAs. Standards on social audit. And SIAs. Standards on internal audit. 18 है. How many? 18. SIAs में. ये सारे is your something which your basket of being a practitioner. All these standards you should know. But you have only essays in your syllabus. And you don't know even essays. Maybe there is one more series called 800 series. There are 3 standards in 800 series actually. But we restrict ourselves to what? So it means you are not even doing the essays also full. And remaining is all your, professional homework which you need to do after getting qualified. No one teaches you this. SQC 1, you know that, only 1 in number. Achha, what is the difference in all these standards and why ICAI kept on putting this standard? From SSA, you can tell me, standards on social audit. Okay, CSR is nowadays a very big point of concern. So ICAI ने उसके ऊपर 10 standards बना दिया कि you are doing the audit of CSR of a company, social audit, do these standards. Okay, I can understand. I also can understand कि standards on which audit? Internal, becoming very popular. So 18 standards they introduced in that. My question is why SAEs and how they're different from SREs and how they're different from SRS. On which places you use these standards and whether you use it or not. First question. We do use it. SAEs का full form क्या है? When the client comes to you for the project report works, which works? To get a loan from the banks, and when you prepare that project report, you use SAEs. Standards on which engagements? Assurance engagement. When you are being hired by the listed companies to do their quarterly review or semi-annual review of their financial statements, you don't get hired for audit. You get hired for review engagements. Which engagements? Review. And what is SRS? When you are being hired by embassies or attestation services, like you want my signature or stamp on that. हम लोग पेपर के ऊपर लेते हैं ना इनकम सर्टिफिकेट को अटेस्ट करना. so that they can get the application. Attestation services basically comes under what? SRS. That's why what is the word used? Related services. Which services? Related. To tell me the full form of all 7. अम्मा ठंड लग रही है? हाँ? बहुत ज़्यादा. यहाँ पे आ जाओ. अच्छा अच्छा. You were thinking, so I read your mind and came to know. Perfect. Come this side. कोने में बैठ जाओ. It will give you better. You are also getting little bit. हाँ? थोड़ा AC कम करवा दूँ? कहाँ है बंदा वो? Where is that fellow? Anybody has MI phone? You have a remote over there? Okay. You have there. Check the temperature he has set. 20 on each. 22. Make it 25 on all. This is the basic reason when you don't get comfortable and the things will, instead of your mind here, you are somewhere else actually. The problem is that. And unfortunately, I can't invest that time again because my time is precious. So I have to make some necessary changes. Because you can't expect me to deliver everything again. And when you will ask it, right? So please tell me, are you understanding the names of the standard? You understood the purpose also? Sir, वो थोड़ा ACs का 25 कर दो. 25, 25, 25 everywhere. Okay. Now, please tell me what are the 4 things you need to comply under PET standards? Accounting standards which are issued by ICAI other than adopted by the companies under the Companies Act. Second, Ind AS and accounting standard both issued by CG on recommendations of ICAI in consultation. 3 are over 3 under section number 133. 4th one, standards. What are the 5 types of 6, 7, or standard? SQCs, SAs, SRE, SRS, SAs, SSAs and SIAs. Actually, the name of this is given somewhere else, but if you will read the name like this only, that will be more better. And what is the 5th one? Frameworks for preparation and presentation of what? Matlab, they are basically telling you that AFRF knowledge. Which knowledge? You should also know Schedule 3. You should also know SEBI requirements. You should know the Banking Regulation Act ki requirements. So every sector ka their own AFRF is there. So you are expected to have the knowledge of that. Say for example, how many of you have done the bank audit? You know LFAR? Other than full form, I know. What is LFAR basically? It's a long form audit report only. There are so many clauses which are required by RBI on you to report on that, and 90% of the case you write NA. Not applicable. I know that. हम लोग MOC क्या होता? हाँ. Thank you. But what is the purpose behind that? Modified opinion or adverse opinion. You generally sign on which statement? MOC. So you might have done that. Audit approach of doing the bank audit and audit approach of doing the normal company audit is same. Normal company audit में जाके आप check verification, demand verification, unused checks, cash verification, do you do? No. That you only do when you are doing the what? Bank audit. So they are saying that you should have the knowledge of frameworks for preparation and what? Present day. And I think you all will agree with me that the bank financial statement does not look like the normal company's financial statement. Then main income is interest earned. In our case, ours is in a different manner as per what? Schedule. So you are expected to have this one. And preface to the, that is what I was telling you, quality standards, auditing standards, review standards, other assurance and related services, and framework for what? Assurance. What is the 6th point? You should also know the laws. What do you mean by laws? Relevant statutes. That's why you will see that mostly in your foundation, intermediate and final mein, common is company law. You do some part in foundation, up to 148 section in intermediate, 149 to 470, all 7 schedules including 9 chapters, you do it in final. Are you getting the point? What is the reason? Because 90% of your post qualification practice is purely depend upon the statutory laws. SEBI, FEMA. What is the purpose behind letting you know FEMA in final law? To understand that how much repatriations from the foreign country are allowed in India, to understand the current account transactions and capital account transaction basically. What is the purpose behind PMLA Act? Prevention of money laundering. The moment you see any suspected criminal proceeds in someone's bank account, bank is required to inform to enforcement directorate and raid will happen. What is the purpose behind Competition Act? To make you understand CCI, Competition Commission of India. So you should have the knowledge of relevant statutes and regulations which are applicable in context of specific engagements being reviewed, including instructions, guidelines. अच्छा ये बताओ amendments क्या होती हैं? And how they are different from standards and how they are different from guidance notes. ICA keeps on issuing you the circulars. Okay, this has come in our profession. This has come in our profession. उसे हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? Instructions, guidelines, notifications, directions issued by whom? Regulatory bodies as covered in the scope of what? So you are expected to have the law knowledge as well. And last but not the least, any other TPE standard and any other standard issued by authority governing profession of what? CA. Did you get the point? Acha, you have in income tax called ICDS. है ना? हम लोग while doing the tax audit, do we use the ICDS? So basically focus of ICDS is on what? Is it on method of accounting or method of computation? Method of computation, not on method of accounting. 10 in number. Am I right? So what is the purpose you are doing the standards issued under Income Tax Act? That will fall under the last point. Read the last point. Any other TPE standards and other standards issued by any authority governing the profession of CA. Do we do tax audits? So under the Income Tax Act also, whatever the standards are there, you are expected to have a knowledge. So your horizon is very huge. That is where the peer review comes. He comes and does all these things. Simple. So you know the scope, what he can, you know what he can't, and you know what do you mean by your TPE standards, you know what do you mean by new unit, you know what do you mean by branch reviewer, you know what is the meaning of what? Peer review, and you know the objectives of the peer review. Is it fair enough? Start making a note of it. क्योंकि कंज्यूम करने में टाइम लगेगा चैप्टर. Very interesting, very important, but too lengthy when it comes to the things. अभी तो हमने start ही नहीं किया. अभी तो we are on the starting 10-20% might be over. Still the long term. Maybe it will take our tomorrow's first 1 or 2 hours as well to make you understand complete. ठीक है? Understand. Try to write. First put the heading peer review. Just write the general meaning like this. What do you mean by peer review? Peer review stands for where the peer means what? A person of same status, position and nomenclature. That is a similar standing. Just make a note of this part. Remaining I'll dictate. Peer review में peer stands for person of same status, position and nomenclature. Same status, position and nomenclature. That is similar standing. And on the other side, review stands for retrospective evaluation. Retrospective evaluation of the services provided by retrospective evaluation of the services provided by practicing unit. Provided by practicing unit. Remember, your words will differentiate from QR. Here we are using the PU, there will use AFUR. Here we'll use the word PR, there will use the word TR, technical reviewer. So you do remember these abbreviations for long, right? PU, practicing unit, in the bracket re-examination, right? Now, right? Okay, put the next heading. Definition of the word peer review. You know the words and word to word now? Definition of peer review. You just need to recollect. I know that somewhere subconsciously you have heard it. Definition of peer review. What was the sentence number 1? It refers to examination and review of what? Systems and procedure. So right, point number 1, A, refers to examination and review refers to examination and review of systems and procedures. Examination and review of systems and procedures. System and procedures. Second, to determine, to determine, second point is to determine whether the same have been put in place, whether the same have been put in place by PU, whether the same have been put in place by PU, right? To get assurance or to ensure, what are we ensuring? Quality of insurance services, to ensure quality of insurance services, quality of assurance services, right? ये वर्ड को अंडरलाइन कर लेना, envisaged, envisaged, envisaged means what? Criterias set up by, envisaged by pet standards, envisaged by pet standards, right? Pet standards. Now in the next line write amendment. We are continuing the definition only, but what is amendment? Envisaged by pet standard, up to that it was fine. Now write amendment. Now continue. Including, what is AQMM? Quality maturity model. Including AQMM, audit quality maturity model, wherever applicable. Including AQMM, audit quality maturity model, wherever applicable. In the next line, this is not amendment. Next line में, and any other regulatory requirements, and any other regulatory requirements issued by council, any other regulatory requirements issued by council or any committee, or any committee. And the last point, to check whether the same were consistently applied during the period under review. Whether the same were consistently applied during the period under review. Can you please tell me what do you mean by during the period under review? When you are coming, that period we're talking about, or what he's asking, that period we're talking about? Asking. That is the last how many years? 3 years. Scope is always what? 3 years. Clear? Fair enough? Okay. So ये होगी अपनी definition relating to what? Peer review. Now write next definition. New unit. Again amendments. The next two are amendments only. New unit. This is not defined. This is just told. So under that you can write a practicing unit having less than 12 months existence. Practicing unit having less than 12 months existence preceding the date of receipt of preceding the date of receipt of peer review application. preceding the date of receipt of peer review application. Peer review application. So that itself is a which unit? Or what is the next point? Or a PU in existence, a PU in existence for more than 12 months, a PU in existence for more than 12 months, but not provided, any assurance services yet. But not provided any assurance services yet. So that both the condition makes you a which unit? New unit. Third, branch reviewer. Third is what? Branch reviewer. Branch reviewer. Okay. Now, under the branch reviewer, the peer reviewer of a branch of a practicing unit. A peer reviewer of a branch of a practicing unit. So practicing unit had some branch. You are doing the peer review of that branch. It means you are a what? Branch peer reviewer. So peer reviewer of a branch of a practicing unit having same rights, duties and obligations. Having same rights, duties and obligations. Same like a peer reviewer, right? Having the same rights and duties, obligations like a peer reviewer. Crystal clear? Okay. So definition में we have to little bit be careful कि word should not go here and there. Remaining में we can write it on our own. Now put the heading objectives. फिर लिखेंगे scope. फिर लिखेंगे pet. Objectives. Put the heading objectives. Point number 1. To check compliance of pet standards and other regulatory requirements. To check compliance of pet standards and other regulatory requirements. Make sure you're writing pet in bold. To check compliance of pet standards and other regulatory requirements. Second one. To check, what is the second one? Try to tell me. What was second objective? हो गया ना गड़बड़? वो scope था. That was scope. Compliance. What is the topic? यही तो I wanted to make you realize the fact that where you are going wrong. Just because the word compliance is written doesn't mean that we are writing about scope. What was the second point if you remember? Huh? Systems and तो scope के अंदर था. System procedure scope, compliance scope, training scope and self-evaluation by AQMM was also under scope. That is what the point. To ensure and evaluate. Second one. To ensure and evaluate. Sir, कहाँ से देखा? हीरो. नंबर बनाने कैसे भी बना लो. To ensure and evaluate. To ensure and evaluate documentation. To ensure and evaluate documentation maintained by PU. Maintained by PU and its quality on assurance services. And its quality on assurance services. And third एक और लिखो, क्योंकि sometimes you may get this question for 4 marks. You can't get away but just by writing 2 points. तो उस टाइम पे you have to be creative, which you are. I know you are very much expert in creating stories. So you will write the same points 10 times also, but by differentiating it from one word to another. But third, right, to enhance users' confidence, credibility, and trust. To enhance users' confidence, credibility. I told you now, where do you display this certificate? Along with your membership number, along with your COB number. उसके साथ आपको peer review certificate भी display करना. उससे क्या होता है? What is it demonstrating? Demonstrating that your quality of services is good or bad. So that enhances whose confidence? Users, the one who is going to use your services. To enhance users' confidence, credibility and trust. Clear है? Now, main इसके नीचे note लिखना. Write one note. Below the third point, write one note. It's not a fault finding mechanism. It's not a fault finding mechanism. It's not a fault finding mechanism. Rather, it's a recommendatory measures. Rather, it's a process of giving recommendatory measures. एक simple बात है, recommendatory measures giving process. You write like this. Rather, it's a process of giving recommendatory measures, or if you have written process of recommendatory measures given by the council, whatever it, some भावनाओं को समझो. What you have to understand is what? Feelings. So what you are saying कि भैया it's not only a fault finding machine. It's a process of giving recommendatory measures. Okay. Now we are done with what? Objective. Now you will write scope, and under the scope only we will merge the two topics. What is included and what is what? Excluded. So put the heading scope. Scope of peer review. On the left side including. On the right side excluding. Scope. On the left side you can write covered, or on the right side you can write not covered. Your call. Okay. Now please tell me what are the 6 which are including? Compliance. अब बताओ, अब देखा मजा आ रहा है. Compliance. Then training. And then systems and procedures. Then AQMM. Why self-evaluation by AQMM. 6 are known now. So right, compliance. So right, first one, compliance with PET standards. Compliance with PET standards under the scope. Second, compliance with council guidelines to the members. Compliance with council guidelines to the members in relation to. Compliance with the council guidelines to the members in relation to what? अब बताओ, in relation to what? Fees and audit undertaken and assurance of what? Assurance register. Maintenance of assurance engagement register. Relating to article wala? Relating to article and audit assistants. Relating to their work diaries. Then stipend payments and attendance rates. What is the first scope, everyone? First wala kya tha? Compliance of what? PET standards. Compliance of PET standards. And second one is compliance of what? Compliance of council guidelines. Council guidelines to whom? Members. Achha, you are dictating me now, huh? Council guidelines to whom? Members. Relating to what? Fees audits to be undertaken. Fees, audits undertaken, and register of assurance engagements. So along with you, I will also update my notes. Am I correct? So they will be the fresh new notes for peer review, right? So fees, audits undertaken, and register of what? Assurance. And what is the third one? Compliance with whom? Compliance with whom now? Council guidelines relating to. हाँ तो लिखते जाओ, प्रॉब्लम क्या है? Compliance to council guidelines, 2 members in relation to audit and articled assistants, in relation to attendance register, relating to work diaries and stipend payments. Which payments? Stipend payments. Next one, third, 3-year compliances. So how the staff will get good enough? So adequate training, programs for staff. Adequate training programs for staff to maintain quality assurance. Okay, next one. Your systems and what? Procedures. Systems and procedures. And what is the last one? Self-evaluation. Nine. That is outside the scope of testifying as an expert witness. So now last one. ये जो last वाला है इसको थोड़ा bold में लिख लेना क्योंकि that is again relating to AQMM, right? So last वाला is what? Self-evaluation as per AQMM. What is AQMM? Audit Quality Maturity Model. Clear? So this is what your scope is all about. Under the which side you have written inclusion, right? Now under the exclusions आ जाओ. और एक काम करो, you have written scope now. All the points you have written. And below that, put an arrow and write scope is preceding 3 years. Scope is review of preceding 3 years. Scope is review of preceding 3 years, excluding current year engagements. You can't check quality assurance on current year. Scope is review of preceding 3 years, excluding current year engagements. Correct? So when we were writing inclusion, so better write this word here itself only. So we need not write time period of scope and all those things. Now come under the exclusions, everyone. Tell me now first of all the 8 exclusions. Management consultancy, income tax preparation, and advisory services. Then compilation of financial statement, collection and compilation of the information other than financial statement, representative issues, and testifying as a witness, expert witness, and hired for due diligence. And next one, giving the expert advice on applicability of various statutes and laws, and any other engagement which is declared by the council other than assurance. So they are not covered under your peer review. So right under the scope, maybe extra लिख सकता हूँ वैसे. Which one is okay? Okay, law law. You can write these like this also. First one, law consultancy. As an expert लिख लेना. law consultancy as an expert. Preparation and compilation, nahi. Preparation now no longer allowed. Only what is allowed? Compilation of which statement? Financial statements. Tax advisory, tax preparation returns same hai. Tax advisory and preparation of tax returns is the third one, same. And the fourth one, representation before tax authorities. You should better use this word now. Statutory authorities. Representation before statutory authorities. Testifying as an expert witness. Testifying as an expert witness. Management consultancy engagements. Management consultancy engagements. Due diligence. Okay, two are missing. Tell me which two are missing. Preparation, compilation of the information other than FS. So eighth one, preparation and compilation of information other than financial statements. And what is the ninth one? Any other engagement not declared as assurance engagement. By whom? ICAI. Any other engagement not declared as assurance engagement by whom? ICAI. Fair enough? So that brings an end to your scope. Engagement. Any other English actually? English, which is ICAI saying that sorry, you can't speak. So that English. Any other engagement not declared as assurance engagement by whom? ICAI. Did you get the point? So we know the scope period also, and now we know the out of your scope as well. So this can be a very well MCQ question in your examination. They may ask you like this, which are the services which are not covered under your peer review ka scope? So they may ask you, auditor was providing these services and peer reviewer asked. So what will be your answer? Can he ask about this or he can't ask? Can't, because that is within his scope or beyond his scope? Beyond his scope. Now, next, definition of PET standards. Put the heading now. Breaker. You are asking breaker. Definition of PET standard. So anyways, we are taking up to 9. Evening also. Anyways, you will not be having any 9 classes any longer, na? Okay, na? No issues. I know you can. Okay, definition of PET standards. Professional, ethical and technical standards. Now, under that, okay, we need to do some necessary changes. चलो मैं भी तुम्हारे साथ लिख लेता हूँ so that क्योंकि सारा चेंज हो गया ना अम्मा, we can't do anything. Okay, let put the headings like this only. ठीक है? तो first one under the PET standards, right? इसको क्लब भी कर सकते हैं ना? एक काम करो, first write accounting related. Put the heading accounting related. There's no definition now. This is just a simple inclusion list. Accounting related में what are the 3 accounting related? Tell me. Issued by ICAI, issued by central government. Under the central government again 2. So that will be easy ना. Accounting related को club कर देंगे. So accounting related, put the heading and under that write accounting standards issued by ICAI for companies. So while speaking, don't talk now. Just read and see that what's the necessary point of talking. By as issued by ICA for companies other than Companies Act. AS issued by ICA for companies other than Companies Act. Second one, AS and Ind AS issued by central government under section 133 on recommendations of ICA in consultation with NFRA. So first one is AS issued by ICA for the companies other than Companies Act, and AS and Ind AS issued by the central government under section 133 on recommendation of ICA in consultation with NFRA. Fair enough. Next one, audit related standards में under that we can write compliance of. Second point, you can write audit related standard, compliance of. Tell me the 7 types of auditing standard except internal audit. उसको side पे रखेंगे क्योंकि they are very different. First one is SQCs, SAEs, SREs, then SRS and SAs and SSAs. ठीक है? And under the internal audit you can write SIAs. So audit related, accounting related and internal audit related. Done. Law related, knowledge of particular statutes, laws and compliances and frameworks of other regulators. Then fourth one you can write other related standards. इसमें example में what you will write under the other related standards? ICDS under the any other relevant statute. Example ICDS. What is the full form of IDS? Income computation and disclosure requirement issued under act है ना by CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes ना. कुछ बच गया क्या? Everything covered now? 3 standards relating to accounting covered, auditing covered, and laws and compliances covered, internal audit covered, and any other related standards. So this is what the definition of what? और लास्ट में एक लिख लो नोट. Write one note. Huh? Actually, you are writing still. So you are not writing along with me. Fast, huh? अच्छा. That's what I'm telling. Right, we'll write one note. Okay, notified everyone, all 5. Now write one note. Under the note, write notifications, disclosures, amendments, guidance notes, principles, practices, revisions issued by council and other regulators. Issued by council and other regulators. क्या हो रहा है भाई? Now this projector is also saying, leave me alone. That many years I'm hanging. I'm displaying what you are writing. I also get tired. देखो. Done? Coming now. No problem. If anything is there, just let me know. Keep it open. Okay. So let's proceed with the next topic. क्या? शर्म नहीं आती मांगते हुए ब्रेक? ओके. कितने बजे? अरे ब्रेक क्या? 4:45 को तो तुम्हारी क्लास है. 15 मिनट की ब्रेक ही मिलनी है यहाँ पे. Okay, now let me make you understand first the main thing now. Now we are done with the meanings, definitions and everything. Now the core part of the topic will start. That is called PU's subject matter to what? Review. You can see that there are three things in front of you. पहले मैं तुम्हें difference दिखा दूँ. Okay sir, silence please. Hello. Stop talking. Now listen to this. What was earlier basis of peer review? Earlier basis of peer review was relating to your level 1. So earlier, how do they understand कि whether you are going to be peer reviewed or not? It was all based upon your what? Level of entity. So you used to be treated as level 1 entity. Then you used to be treated as what? Level 2 entity. And then you will be used to be treated as special case review. Everything has been abolished. And let me tell you, that is good for you only. It was very khichdi kind of thing. Right or not? Level 1 there, level 2 there. And sometimes you get confused between greater than equals to 250 crores, 50 crore like that. So many things were get. Now they made it very sorted. Simple. 3 types of peer review. How many types? 3 types. What are the 3 types of peer review now? First one is mandatory. Second one is voluntary. Third one is special case. And I already gave you the introduction. Mandatory mein who sends you the letter? Peer review board sends you the letter कि on the basis of your structure of the practicing unit, we have decided to conduct the peer review on you. So you can't deny in that case. What is the second one? You are applying to the peer review to get the peer review done because I want that certificate. And what is the third one? Special case. In case someone refers your name to the peer review board, कि sir, please conduct the peer review of this practicing unit. So what is the first one? Mandatory. Peer review can be mandated for such practicing unit as may be what? Decided by the home council. Now the question arises, how council decides? There might be some procedure na. So remember, there is a phased peer review has been asked. You have to understand 4 different dates. 1st April 2022, 1st April 2023, 1st April 2024 onwards, and 1st April 2025 onwards. It means right now which financial year got over? So for that, new rules and regulations have come. It means all those practicing units from 1/4/2022, if you are doing this, then in that case you are going to get what? Peer reviewed. Are you getting the point? Now, which financial year started day before yesterday? So from 1/4/2023 already includes 1/4/2022, but one has been more added. So it's a cumulative now. It means from 1/4/2024 onwards, 22, 23 plus 24. And it means 1/4/2025 onwards, 22, 23, 24, 20. All will be covered. And let me tell you one thing. By 2025 onwards, are you getting the point? 90% of the Indian practicing firms will get covered under peer review. Earlier, it was a very rare thing. If you have a 4 partners, 5 partners, suppose you are doing the listed entity audit on the basis of level 1, level 2 only, and that used to be conducted once in 5 years. What used to be the period? Level 1 categories का होता था once in 3 years, level 2 categories का होता था once in 4 years, and there used to be a level 3 category also once in 3 years, but now no longer once, twice and thrice. You are falling under this category, you will get mandatory review. And if you are neither falling under 22, 23, 24 or 25 wala unit, then in that case you can go for the voluntary. The council has prescribed these are the mandatory list. 1 for 2022 onwards, 23 onwards, 24 onwards and 25 onwards. Shall we read now? So what is a mandatory review? First of all, a peer review can be mandated for such PUs as may be decided by council. In the next 5 minutes, we will discuss about that. Second thing is what? Voluntary. Any PU suo moto may apply to whom? Peer review board. Board means what? PRB. Peer review board. For conduct of its what? Peer review. Or special case, the board based upon the specific information received from whom? The first person who can refer your case is secretary of what? I say. The second person who can refer your case is disciplinary committee. Which committee? Sorry, discipline directorate or any other what? Regulator. So there are so many people in the ICA also, like मैं तो बताता हूँ DD होता है, disciplinary directorate. He is the starting point of your disciplinary mechanism. There is one another mechanism called BOD, Board of Discipline, and another one called DC, Disciplinary Committee. But they only come into the picture when the DD tells them, I have received any complaint relating to PU. So who is the main person who initiates the disciplinary action on you? DD. What do we call it as? Director of Discipline or Discipline Directorate. Who is the second person who can get? Secretary of ICA. And who is the third? Any other regulator, which in the opinion of what? Board requires a which review? Special peer review of the PU and may conduct the special peer review of the PU for such period determined by what? Board. Clear hai? So 3 types of PU are mandatory, peer review, voluntary and special. अब देखो voluntary में these are the 4 dates given. What is the date number 1? 1 for 22 onwards, 1 for 23 onwards, 1 for 24 onwards and 1 for 2025 onwards. Now listen to this case. I say being a clever body will ask you the list of 1 for 2025. मेरे ख्याल से because it automatically covers what? All. It means even though, अच्छा tell me one thing. The gone financial year में I say cannot conduct the peer review of those which are going to be covered from 24. Do you agree with me? Now, what is the scope of ICA right now? Which 2 types of practicing units peer review ICA can conduct today? 2 types. Those who are already covered under 1 for 2022 wala list and those who have now started getting covered under. Now, who are those who got covered from 1 for 2022? First point, only 1 point. What is the point number 1? Practicing units doing the audit of. So, in your basket, if you have any listed company ka audit, so you are covered for peer review from 1 for 2020 onwards impliedly. Are you getting the point? So, it means at any point of time, you may get a letter from where? Peer review board and your firm will be selected. If you are an auditor of which company? Listen. So now you know the idea about of your firms. So you have an idea, some certainty about your clients also engagements. So अगर आपकी firm listed entity को audit करती है, तो you come under mandate. But mandatory peer review does not mean that it will happen. ICI can select you now. Random selection still there. Obviously, India में more than 10,000 to 20,000 firms are there. ICA will not conduct it on everyone. Are you getting the point? So you comes under the compulsory list under which list? So who will select you on random basis? ICA under that peer review board and you may get a letter. If you are an auditor of what? if you have done the audit of listed entities. Clear? From which date onwards? So तुम्हें सिर्फ 4 categories you have to remember. Now, what is the next category from which date onwards? 1/4/2023. 1/4/2023 already includes what? Auditor of which entity? Listed. Plus now auditor of what? Unlisted. If you remember, while doing the rule 3 of NFRA, do you remember types of companies under the rule 3 of NFRA? Which companies on which NFRA will do the investigation? And other than rule 3, who will do? I say, if you remember all the listed companies in India, outside India, foreign subsidiary contributing more than. There I told you second point. Unlisted public company, 500, 500,000, if you remember that. What is the point I told you? 500, क्या था वो? Unlisted public company थी, having a paid up share capital of 500 crores or more, outstanding borrowings of 500 crores or more, turn. Same point here. It means if you are also an auditor of unlisted public company having any of these 3 conditions to be satisfied, so from this day before yesterday onwards, from the first onwards, you are now going to get covered under peer review, mandatory peer review. So you may get selected by whom? I say. Right or not? Paid up share capital 500 crores or more, turnover 1000 crores or more, and loans, deposits and debentures. What is that? Greater than equals to 500 as per the 31st March of which year? Previous year. Same limit we have done it under where? NFRA. Did you get the same limit we have done it over there? Crystal clear? Okay. Now, along with that, one more point I did. PU rendering with services. Having how many partners? In the next one, you will see 4 and more partners. In the next one, you will see 3 or more partners. Only, I think only who people will be uncovered under that? 2 or more, less than 3, and sole proprietors. Rest remaining everyone will be what? Covered under the peer review. So tell me which 2 are covered from 1/4/23? All listed. Up cumulative हो जाएगा. All listed, all unlisted public company having PUSC 500 crores or more, outstanding borrowings 500 crores or more, turnover 1000 crores or more. And if you're practicing unit giving the attestation services having from 1/4/2023, you are also under the which review? Peer review. Crystal clear है? 100%. अभी तुम्हें पता क्यों easy लग रहा है? It was very difficult for me क्योंकि we were habitual of level 1, level 2, level 3. तो खिचड़ी गया. But now we are relaxed. I say ने simply while teaching also we are relaxed. I say simply made the criteria. Okay, this one and that. Now next point 1/4/2024. Now statutory audits of which entities? Those entities which have raised the money from public, IPO or FPO, or raised the money from banks or financial institution over what? Greater than 50 crores. Now during the period under the review, right or not? So if you are a statutory auditor of those companies which have either raised the money from public or raised the money from banks in the form of loans or FIs in the form of loan greater than 50, equals to nahi hai. More than what? 50 crores. Then also you are going to get covered under this one. And read this point. Who are also covered now? Statutory auditor of, that is common word. Statutory auditor of what? Any body corporate including trusts which are covered under the public interest. अब ये बहुत issue है. It means for that you need to understand what do you mean by public interest. Pi बोलते से. Pi entities. Public interest entities. For that I will, don't worry, I will give you the definition of pi. Pi means listed. And those companies on which a regulator tells you to do the audit of that. Basically LICs, like companies like LIC, ICA, it is also a pi entity, or where the government has some interest or any council may have some interest. Idhar amma. So tell me, from 1/4/2024 onwards, who are covered? Statutory auditors of companies which have raised the funds from public, banks, FIs exceeding 50 crores, plus any body corporate including trust which is declared as pi, and practicing unit rendering again with services having 4 or more one. अब cumulatively बताओ from 1/4/2024 who are Auditors of listed entity. Unlisted. Attestation 5 or more. Attestation 4 or more. Raise money from public, banks and FIs over 50 crores and as a body corporate declared as PI, including trust. 6 are now covered from 1/4/2024 onwards. And who are covered from 1/4/2025 onwards now? These people. Who are the people? Next one, audit of branches of not all the banks, only public sector bank. So if you are an auditor of ICICI, you are not covered. But if you are an auditor of SBI, PNB, Indian Bank, Canara Bank, PSU banks, you are what? Covered. And not CSA auditor, branch auditor. CSA matlab central statutory auditor. We send one bundle to main auditor or no? SCA's auditor, statutory central auditor. They are not talking about that. Audit of branches of public sector or having what? But here attestation services point has been eliminated. To 3 or more partners, you are covered. It means what? Almost from 1/4/2025 onwards, almost all the firms in India will get covered under the which review? Bache kaun se? Bache kaun se? Having 2 partners. How many partners? 2 partners. And sole proprietor. Correct? They will come under voluntary. So you may apply. Or you may get referred by Secretary of ICA or Directorate Discipline or by any regulator. Ab batao. 1/4/2025 onwards, who all are covered? Auditors of all the listed companies in India. Unlisted may any of the 3 conditions to be satisfied. Firm doing attestation services of 5 or more or 4 or more. Plus any company raise the funds from the public, FIs, bank over 50 crores. Any body corporate including trust declared as PI, public interest entity. And last one, any branch auditors of PSU banks. And last one, any firm having 3 or more partners. So they all come under the which list now? Mandatory. You know, your this much of workload has been reduced to 0. पूरा आपको पढ़ना था. This was a huge list. Right from there to end. Everything is eliminated. Simple. 1/4/2025 learn करो and proceed for the examination. Everything is what? Cumulatively covered. Is it clear to all of you? यहाँ तक समझ में आ गया? तो 3 types of review हो गए. Mandatory, voluntary, special. Now, one very important point. अच्छा, this is applicable from 1/4/2022. चलो एक practical question देखते हैं. On my firm, on 1/4/2021, let's imagine peer review has already happened under the old provisions. Under the which provisions? और peer review certificate की validity होती है 3 years. How many years? And I automatically got covered under 1/4/2023 as well, क्योंकि I have 5 partners in my firm and we are also providing attestation. Am I covered? So, can ICA select me again? Answer is no. Till the expiry of the validity of the previous peer review certificate, you are not going to be selected by whom? ICA. So, till that time, you can continue with that certificate. After that, the mandatory provisions will be applicable only. That is what is written in the note. Please read the note below. If the PU already has a peer review certificate, there is no need of once again subjecting to practicing unit to the peer review. Till the conclusion of the validity of said certificate, it is necessary to possess a new peer review certificate on conclusion of the validity of the, it means from 1/4/2024 onwards, they can again select me. Okay, my certificate will have a validity of 3 years. Did you get the point? This is called mandatory review, voluntary review and special review. Is it clear to all of you? जल्दी से लिखेंगे और उसके बाद ब्रेक. ये बाद में लिखना है. एक छोटा टॉपिक करवा दूं तुम्हें 10 मिनट्स में. अरे इट्स ओके. आई नो. अरे सर तुम्हें मालूम है एक डेडिकेशन नाम की भी कोई चीज होती है, एक वर्ड होता है डेडिकेशन. हाँ, I know you are highly dedicated, but I want you to be more dedicated. better than highly. Actually, there is nothing small topic which I can tell you. Okay, एक छोटा सा टॉपिक है. अरे अरे God is also helping me. I found it. Your voice is too good, huh? Your voice is too good. Better try in Indian Idol. You will superbly. You will definitely get selected. No problem. देखो